opening meet of the season for the OU Sooners as they welcome the iconic program, the Crimson Tide. I'm Mark Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark and Sam Pesic, and here we go for the second half of this competition. It'll feature balance beam and floor. And
Jenna stepped into that leadoff role when Olivia Troutman was out the whole first part of the season, as she is right now, but we hope to see her come back as the season progresses. Jenna is so calm and so solid on this event. Exactly what you need in leadoff.
You mentioned Olivia Troutman. This is the third year in a row where she hasn't been able to start with the Oklahoma Sooners. 2 years, foot injuries, and then this year she's dealing with tendonitis in her knee.
Very important triple series here. Back handspring, layout, step out. It's one of the ways the gymnasts earn the bonus necessary for their routine to add up to a 10-0 start value.
Competed on beam 14 out of 16 meets last year and had 399 plus scores.
Judges also really look very closely at those leaps and jumps to make sure they hit the 180-degree split in the air. And if it's a turning leap, they have to finish that half turn at the height of the jump before they land. Nice job in leadoff.
Great start for the season for Jenna Dunn from Oklahoma City.
So as I said, you earn bonus here. She does 3 elements back to back to back down the length of the balance beam. Very, very solid. Could be a little bit higher on that layout just to show off some amplitude there, but what a nice, calm, solid routine.
I love what KJ Kindler says about her. I like her in the leadoff spot because I can trust her. Emily Gaskins now leading off, the senior from Florida now for Alabama. You see their lineup. Remember, 6 athletes will compete. Just the top 5 scores out of those 6 will count towards their team total in this rotation.
Problem with the music. So this gives me a moment. Emily is actually, she has 2 routines that she can perform this year. This new one, which is the one, once they get the music right, she will perform. As she describes it, it's inspired by all her past routines, and also she grew up doing ballet with her older sisters, and she wanted to go back to her roots. So you're going to see a lot of ballet in this routine. Opens with a combination pass, front over, double back. Oh, a little off. Several bounces on that landing. Very difficult leg up turn into a difficult jump as well. Double back, good control. Couldn't quite see if she stepped over the line. Lovely choreography. Lost her balance just a little bit there at the end, but this is going to be a beautiful routine for her to polish throughout the season. And she had a few hops on this tumbling pass. Right here, over-rotates it, and just steps over the line. You can land on the line.
Let's go down to Sam Pesic.
Up next on beam is Jordan Bowers, and after talking to KJ Kindler, she could not say enough good things about this freshman. You gotta love a good comeback story. Jordan had to sit out of the sport for years due to an injury, but that's not the reason why KJ likes her so much. She said what makes her special is her confidence and her swagger, and specifically when she makes a mistake, she's able to brush it off and keep going. We saw that after the first event. Let's see it here on beam.
You're right, she followed up with that 9.35 on vault with a 9.9 on bars.
She's a very expressive gymnast. Reminds me so much of Anastasia Webb, who happens to be her idol. Lovely back handspring, layout, step out.
She's also tall like Anastasia. She's 5'6" tall.
And she has a unique style that I know that she will just grow through these next 4 years, unafraid to be uniquely herself.
Sam mentioned that she took some time off after elite gymnastics, almost 2.5 years with a back injury. So any of you young gymnasts out there watching this, she decided to move to level 10, stayed motivated because she wanted to participate in collegiate gymnastics. And here she is, fulfilling her dream, competing for the Sooners.
Round off double twist. Very nice job, because I could see the nerves. There was a little bit of nervous tension in her face. That's where you see it on balance beam, but she handled it. She managed it, and it's only going to get better. So as I said, the judges sit right on the side. They see if the gymnast hits that 180 split and if they finish the turn in the air. She was a little shy, but double twist, one of the harder dismounts to stick. And these landings, nice to see her go for it, though.
She followed up a 9.875 from Jenna Dunn. We'll get her score in a moment. Cameron Machado now for Alabama on the floor.
This is going to be a double pipe. Later in the season, it will be a full twisting double back, but they want to ease that into the routine. Now watch this, very difficult. 1, 2, 3. It's called a triple wolf turn. She gets a lot of bonus. That's an E dance skill.
Last year, most of her contributions to Alabama were on the bars, where she was outstanding. Only did 2 beam routines. Great to see her in the floor lineup this year.
She avoided the fall,
right,
but it will be a big deduction. Just missed time. She looked like she ran out of gas a little bit early in the season, and I could see that even in her dance. She wasn't dancing full out, and some of that is you're saving the energy for the tumbling passes.
Our SEC Super Tuesday doubleheader starts at historic Memorial Gymnasium, with Vanderbilt hosting double-double threat Oscar Shibwe and the number 16 Kentucky at 7 Eastern. Then it's the Iron Bowl basketball style. Number 9 Auburn takes on number 15 Alabama. Both games are right here on ESPN and the ESPN app. App, one tap. Audrey Davis set to go now. 2 Sooners, Jenna Dunn and Jordan Bowers, both had 9.875s.
And as eye-catching as her uneven bar routine is, this one is equally lovely. Very unique choice of skills. She's so flexible that she shows that off.
Averaged 9.913 all last year on B.
Her acrobatic series is right here. Back handspring layout, step out. Very soft on the landing. I love the quality of her beam work. And she's going to back up and repeat that. She needed to connect this, so it'll be a leap right into a front aerial. She needed that connection because if you don't have it, it is a huge deduction. You're missing the special requirement and the connection bonus.
Takes a lot of composure to back up and go for it again.
Very difficult range up. Didn't quite hit the perfect position in the air, but it's so difficult. Love her toe point. Presentation is so lovely. Just a slight little be a great beam routine, especially as she gets more and more confident. Gets that experience in competition.
Competed in 15 of 16 meets last year as a freshman, and of course last year there were so many, you know, inconsistencies in the seasons and stops and starts, and once again, just hats off to these young ladies, because under, you know, once in a century type of conditions, they're still putting out some fantastic gymnastics and giving us a lot of thrills in NCAA competition.
I had a chance to talk to some of them before the meet, and I wanted to share with them just how much admiration we have for them and respect for what they endure, how resilient they are.
Shania Adams, you see her floor average last year. She is one of the 2 all-arounders competing for Alabama today. She has a 9.8 on vault and a 9.85 on bars.
Very well done, double height. It's funny, she describes herself as an introvert and very reserved, but she wanted to choose music that would bring out this part of her personality that she shares with friends and family. I'm not sure what happened.
Gaskins 9.575. Do not yet have the score for Cam Machado.
Ends with her combination pass, the 2 saltos back to back. Okay, strong finish. Just that one part of the routine. I'm not exactly sure what happened. She was going into her lead series. I'm trying to see if she... Maybe... I can't even guess.
We go back to the beam now for Oklahoma. By the way, 9.875 the score for Audrey Davis. So 3 scores of 9.875 for the Sooners. And here comes the senior from Florida, Thomas. She was out of the NCAA meet last year because she sprained her ankle at the regionals, and I believe they really missed her on beam last year, and during the off season she had a surgery, so great to see her back in the position where she belongs. She's superb here.
And she's so much a part of the heart of the team, especially this beam team, so she was very missed. I know they competed for her. Side somersault, very difficult. She regained her balance. It will be a fairly sizable deduction for that.
Average 9.938 last year.
Macro series, spring without step out, very solid. Switch loop to straddle quarter. Now watch this. This is unusual. When I look at it, it's like, that is so hard to spot a full turn facing out away from the beam. She does it very effortlessly. Side aerial, it's a full twist. Need a little bit more height and rotation on that dismount. Have it pipe down and step forward. I think KJ will be very pleased with that. It is not easy to come back after last year and the heartbreak of missing. But watch this, side somersault, really difficult to keep your center of gravity over the beam as you're flipping and turning sideways. As I said, this needed to just be a little bit higher, a little bit more rotation so that you can land with the chest up high.
Mentioned she had a surgery last year in the off season, a labrum of her hip. That's a tough surgery to endure. So they're keeping her numbers low just so they can, nurse her through to the final competition of her senior season. Oklahoma won 4 of the last 7 NCAA championships and finished second last year to Michigan, who just had a lights-out competition. at that spectacular meet in Fort Worth. We were there. Here is Maddie Malagora. She's had a 9.625 on wall and a 9.8 on bars today.
And we have not gotten to see her perform on floor because of injuries in both 20 and 21. Great to see her here. Dana Duckworth said this routine's a little sassy, a little snooty, but just so much fun to perform. A little soft knees on that front layout. Into this classic tango.
Alabama scores here on floor are not impressive. Emily Gaskins 9.575, Cam Machado only a 9.15, Shania Adams only a 9.45. They need 3 big hit routines here. They trail the Sooners in this 3rd of 4 rotations already.
I think that's a routine that they're going to be happy with. Really good to see her out on floor. So watch the form. The judges look for amplitude, height off the floor, and form in the legs. A front double twist, very difficult. That's one of those E passes. Back 1.5 to front layout. You're allowed that step out in the direction that you land, but it can't be too large without getting a deduction.
Malagora getting the Crimson Tide back on track on floor. Here is Carly Woodard.
Carly is an excellent beamer. Strong-minded, extremely stubborn, and as KJ Kindler says, mediocrity is not in her vocabulary.
Currently applying to med school. This is where she shines, on the beam. Weren't sure we were going to see her today. We thought we might see Kat Lavasser on beam. Carly got the call.
Difficult acro pass, the side aerial into the back handspring. We're seeing more and more side aerials into back handsprings and even layouts in collegiate gymnastics. It's a nice trend.
Carrie Thomas before her had a 9.6 after the first 3 9.875s for the Sooners.
One of the things I really like about Oklahoma's beam, and KJ Kindler enjoys this part of gorgeous leap there. Now that's beautiful position there, just a tiny bit of back foot on the second jump, but really nice to see that execution. But she likes unique choreography on beam. Changes it up each year, uses the skills they do so well year in and year out, but changes it up. Look at that. Beautifully stuck landing.
Elisa Blanco will be next up on the floor for Alabama. Earlier this week, we talked to her about that amazing season she had last year and what it was like going home to her new fans.
Honestly, going back home and seeing all the little ones just run up to me, or I'll have their parents or their moms like just be like, Louisa, you have no idea how much this means to my daughter. I always try my best to answer every single message. I didn't really have that growing up, so being that to somebody, it's just like I can't even put it into words. It's awesome, and it just warms my heart every time I go home. It's like one of these little munchkins, and I'm like, I literally was you.
Lovely.
And this routine is as delightful and entertaining as she is humble and wonderful to her fans.
9.825 was the score for Malagora, so Crimson Tide doing better here now.
Gorgeous amplitude. That combined everything. Height off the floor, perfect leg form, and controlled landing.
Not everybody can point their toes in a pike double back.
And And then she comes back with superb dance, gorgeous positions in those leaps. And she really took great joy in creating this routine and choosing the music to highlight her Hispanic heritage. She's so proud of it and really wants to express that to the young girls out there looking up to her. Look at her go so high up on toe. It's the little things for me. I'm going to keep saying it. She is a photographer's dream. Like, you cannot take a bad picture anytime she's performing. Hits the positions.
Last year at the SEC Championship, she went all around. She was a co-champion on vault, bars, and beam. This is actually the only event she didn't win at the SECs, and yet how superb is this?
I mean, Bart, you could freeze frame her at any moment and find a gorgeous shot for the cover of your magazine. It is just really beautiful.
We'll go back to the beam now for the Sooners. Carly Woodard had a 9.95, so the one score they hoped to drop would be the 9.6 from Carrie Thomas, but it comes down to what Reagan Smith can do here in the anchor position.
And I always have a smile on my face watching Reagan on beam. Her basic training for beam is just so good. She's aggressive. Oh! That's unusual. Looked like she didn't even have a chance to try to fight. You know, sometimes you could just really attack the landing, just follow through and finish strong. My guess is she was off on the back handspring. That is my favorite combination of her beam routine. That jump into the back handspring swing down. Difficult and so entertaining.
Fall on beam is a half-a-point deduction. So this will likely be the score they drop, and they'll count the 9.6 for Carrie Thomas. That's disappointing on the beam because she is normally so good there, Ken.
Absolutely. I know she's not going to be happy with it, and the score is not going to be there, but she is a great beamer. This won't happen again. She looked a little bit short of rotation, so like that front leg came down, but her body was still down, and now you got to stand up. She just didn't have enough rotation to follow through and finish strong.
Lexi Graber, the super senior. You see, she earned a share of the floor title last year at the NCAA Championships, coming after Luisa Blanco notched a 9.875.
And what a beautiful, emotional moment at those nationals it was. She was extraordinary in that routine. Little adjustment there on that landing.